Hello, my friends. Jill Ortiz here in my Empowered Fitness community for women over 40 looking to get energized, confident, and strong to conquer weight loss goals and hormonal symptoms. I am here like I am every single Wednesday to talk about your questions today about fitness, nutrition, hormones, menopause, weight gain, weight loss, all the things. And I'm excited to have some really great questions today from the newest members of our group. You'll find me here every Wednesday for our Q&A session. You'll also find me here every Monday for our Motivation Monday chat. And I usually pin these videos to the top. I upload them to my YouTube channel. I send them out via email, so you can always find these things, and I hope that they prove helpful to you, not only to answer your questions, but also to get to know me, my coaching style, and to give you an opportunity for me to get to know you personally. It's very important to me to know the people who are following me, who are trusting in me, and in my knowledge as a fitness professional and a menopausal metabolism coach, somebody who's done a lot of schooling in this and have had a lot of clients go through the same process that hopefully you will go through so that you can find your energy, confidence, and strength. All right, so I'm going to get right into the questions today. Oh, my little doggy was shaking his collar. All right, so what I do is when you join my group here, if this is your first time, welcome. I ask you some questions to get in the group, and then I use those not only to answer the questions because so many of you have the same questions, but it's also how I develop my programming. And so basically I coach women through fitness and nutrition and all different pillars that are important in this journey. And I've got multiple different coaching programs depending on your needs. And the way we figure out where the right place is for you to be coached is by having a game plan call. These calls are free, spots are limited. So I encourage you to use the link that I've included here so that you can set up your game plan call and get your particular questions answered, and also have an opportunity for me to kind of go through some of the lifestyle checks that we have control over, right? We don't have control over everything going on in our bodies, but we have to make sure that we are doing the things that we do have control over. So this helps me direct you in the right directions, okay? So we've got Tanisha who joined our group recently. And when I asked Tanisha what's holding her back from achieving success in her fitness goals, she says lack of training. And then she's asking, why can't I find the motivation? And so again, I go over motivation every single Monday because that is the main driver that when I ask what's holding you back, I often get motivation or lack of motivation. But what I've found over time is it's not so much just a lack of feeling, right, of desire for change, because I think that the desire is there and the need for something. It's more of the fact that it's so overwhelming and exhausting to try to figure out the right way to do things, that a lot of us are just stopped in our tracks and we're afraid to take steps forward due to fear of failure. And so we just don't get anywhere, and then we're exhausted from watching everything, and we're a little bit defeated by not having the right plan. So having a clear plan of action is so motivating and so helpful. And so it looks like that's what Tanisha needs right now, is a clear plan and to just get started in this training so that she can see results and see how good it feels and how motivating it is once you get started on that journey. So I think we've just answered that question as to why she can't find motivation. It's because she's not taking the action, right? So we need to get that ball rolling, right? A ball or anything in motion stays in motion, right? So if you get that ball rolling, then everything is going to be a lot easier, okay? So we need her to get started, maybe book a call with me and get started on her plan. And I want to just stop here real quick and just give a shout out to my newest client, Janelle, she actually told me the other day, we had a great call and she's excited to get started on her journey. But she and her husband decided together that, for financial reasons, she wanted her monthly recurring payment with me to be on the 3rd of the month. So she said, we're going to just wait until the 3rd so that we know when that payment is and it aligns with our other bills. And I was like, I totally get it. I said, you know what? Let's start you for free with me tomorrow. And this is something that I like to do sometimes when I just have a good feeling about somebody who's like excited and ready about the journey. And to me, it's not about nickel and diming people. It's not about taking money. It's about getting somebody who's excited to start going. And she was like, really? Wow, I would love that. I said, let's just give you some little workouts to get started on. And so I said, is that okay? She said, yeah, I love that. So I got her set up in our app that we call Trainerize. Well, that's what it's called. And I set up her first 3 little workouts. And, she got that first workout done immediately. She sent me a picture of her flexing. She said, it's done. She said, I feel amazing. And that to me was just validation that I made a good choice of getting Janelle started right away, taking action, because I just knew that even before she paid me any money, I just knew that she was going to feel so good about just getting that little 15-minute workout done. And she did it and she felt great. And I said, awesome, I will see you tomorrow. She said, yes, ma'am. And so I'm very excited. And that's the confidence I have that when you get going, it is such a good feeling. And I think it feels better even when you're just putting in the work than even knowing that she knew she wasn't going to lose 5 pounds overnight or anything. But I think it's almost more satisfying to know that you've begun your journey, and it's very, very exciting. So shout out to Janelle for getting started yesterday, and I can't wait to see that notification come through today when she completes her second workout. Okay, so we've got Julie here. When I asked her what's holding her back in losing weight, she said, I'm gaining weight. I'm not even losing weight, and I don't eat a lot, so I'm so confused. I'm going to continue with the rest of the feedback that Julie gave. She said she wants to tone up her loose skin, which I'm just going to start right here with that and say, loose skin is only corrected with surgery or filling out that area where that loose skin is. So I can tell you that when I went out to there with my kids like this big when I was pregnant. And of course, when you retract from having the babies, the skin, it stretches and then it comes back, and it's not for everybody. Some people are lucky. I was not. My skin was hanging down. Plus I had lost a lot of weight. And for years and years and years, I lamented about this loose skin. Did it help when I built a 6-pack? Little bit, right? Still had the loose skin. The only thing for me was a tummy tuck. That was the only thing that tightened that skin. I know I follow somebody who had lost 100 pounds, and she just had, I guess, I don't know if you'd call it an arm lift. She had also had a tummy tuck like 20 years ago. And so she knew that the only way to get rid of this loose skin from losing so much weight was that, nip tuck. Are there other complications with those things? Yes. Do other problems arise? Scarring and scar tissue and, bloating and tingling and all that stuff? Yes. Right? But loose skin is not going to tone up with weight loss. Or even with exercise. You can fill it out with more fat, more muscle, but that's a hard thing, right? So that's going to be tough. Other than that, Julie says, I'm struggling with finding the right calories and protein to lose weight and gain muscle. I go to the gym 3 times a week and started going 3 weeks ago. Then she said she's gaining weight, not losing it, and she says she doesn't even eat a lot, so she's confused. And I want to just set the record straight here, because I talk to so many women. I've had hundreds of these calls in the last few months. And I always tell people, I would say 90% of you all are under eating. And the problem with that is under eating is not going to lead to weight loss for you. It's going to lead to a slowed metabolism, which means that instead of taking food in, using it, metabolizing it, creating energy, your body is just going to store it as fat. And then when your body needs energy, it's not going to go to the fat stores. The fat stores stay. It's going to go to eating your muscle if you're under eating, and especially if you're not building muscle. So my guess is that Julie is not building the physique that will burn calories quicker and lose more weight. She's actually doing the opposite. Even though she's joined the gym, she's going, 3 times a week is not a ton, and she only started 3 weeks ago. So how much can we expect in 3 weeks? But she's going to be wasting her time at the gym if she's trying to build muscle and tone up. She's going to be wasting her time, because if you're under eating, you literally can't build muscle. It's impossible to build muscle if you're undernourishing your muscles. And in fact, your muscle is going to be depleting. It's something that happens naturally, especially fast after age 50. If you're not putting on muscle, if you're not fueling that muscle gains, then you're literally just going to see the opposite happen. And I think that's probably what's happening with Julie. So yes, we need to help Julie understand the right strength training plan and the right calories, protein, carbs, and fats that will help her achieve her goals. Okay? I hope that helps. All right. Shannon is struggling. She says her goal is to balance hormones, lose the muffin top, and get her nutrition back on track. Sounds like nutrition being off track might be what's holding Shannon back. So we want to get that nutrition back on track. That is going to balance hormones, and that is going to get rid of the muffin top. So nutrition, it sounds like, needs to be our focus. And Shannon asks, why do I have to track my macros? Guess what, Shannon? You don't. You don't have to track your macros. There's so many ways to do nutrition. I teach 5 different frameworks for nutrition. Macros happens to be one of them. I don't have my clients track them every day. That's not my way of doing macros. I have us build, or I build for you, the perfect macros-based plan. If you are looking for something very specific that will get you to your goal the fastest, then we want to be the most honed in, but not everybody wants or needs that type of nutrition. So I teach other frameworks as well, including looking at proper portions, right? Which does not have to be measured in ounces and grams and all that, and down to the calorie. We have a more visual way of figuring out our portions. We also have mindful eating, which has nothing to do with macros counting. And we have a menopausal nutrition program that also has nothing to do with macros counting, because for many people, macros counting is very stressful. For me, I hate macros counting. I don't like being on an app all day counting my calories, my grams of this and that, and making sure that every day I'm spending all day calculating things to end up at a certain number. I will not do that. But am I successful? Do I know my macros? I do. And sometimes I use macros. Other times I don't want to be bothered with macronutrients. But I've learned enough, and I've got that knowledge that it has helped me. It's a very powerful tool. So number 1, you don't have to track your macros at all if you can learn how to do it another way. Okay? Shannon, I would love to teach you multiple ways to do nutrition, and perhaps teaching you macros, teaching you my method so that you don't have to hate it, but can still see the effects of it. Okay? So Shannon, book a call with me. Sherry says what's holding her back is eating the right combinations of food, apparently, for her age. So it sounds like we need to educate Sherry a little bit on what she needs. She says, I'm perplexed. How I gained 10 pounds and it felt like overnight. I exercise 5 days a week, weights and walking. So 10 pounds very fast sounds hormonal. And it does have something to do with fitness and nutrition, but there's 3 other pillars here that I teach my clients have to also be in alignment in order to see your goals achieved. And so in addition to your fitness and your nutrition, which perhaps the nutrition is not correct, right? So if Sherry's wondering if she's eating the right combinations of food for her age, then maybe there's something going on there, and maybe she doesn't have it as dialed in as she thinks she does, or maybe she knows that her nutrition is off and that's why the scale's going up. Nutrition, fitness, which I love weights and walking. That sounds like a great combo. We do need to make sure that those weights are being effective. So if you're walking around with 2-pound weights, I see a lady walking around the street all the time with these tiny little hand weights, and it drives me crazy because I'm like, oh my God, if she goes like this 8,000 times, she's not actually going to get anywhere. So we have to make sure that that lifting is appropriate, that the walking is appropriate. The other 3 pillars that I work with my clients on are sleep, stress, and supplementation. Ooh, the 3 S's in addition to fitness and nutrition, which are not S's. So these are things that also have to be in alignment. So if you are like the most stressed out person in the world, but you work out every day and you eat really well, it doesn't really mean you're going to get to your goals. Okay, so it looks like Sherry, you and I have some work to do together to pin this down, right? And that's my superpower, is taking all these pieces to the puzzle and bringing them together and getting you a really, really solid plan so that you can get great results. Elizabeth, she says, my schedule is tough. My big goal is weight loss and to tone. She says, why did I gain so much weight recently during perimenopause? Because 2 main hormones that we see a massive decline in when we no longer need our reproductive system, right? We get to this age, we're not having kids anymore, so our reproductive hormones decline as our egg count drops. And those are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, in charge of fat storage. Progesterone, in charge of stress management. These 2 hormones are no longer working for you and with each other to help you. And so when things are now not aligned, right, when we're not doing everything correctly, that weight just packs on because we don't have these hormones helping us anymore. And if we're not doing the right thing and the hormones aren't helping us, then we start to see the weight just come on very quickly. The good thing is it's usually an indicator that we need to make some changes. Most often, it's not just that your body's doing funny things, it's that you need to do the things that will help your body get to your goals. So we have a lot more control than we realize. We don't need to go to weight loss drugs. We don't need to go to, HRT immediately. We can work on certain things and get them into alignment first. And you're going to see that they actually make a big difference. And that is very encouraging and motivating when you see the change. Okay, Tammy says what's holding her back in achieving her goals is that she's got a stressful job. And it makes her feel like she's too tired to exercise and she's not eating the proper foods. So here's 3 pillars right now that are already out of line, right? She's got her stress. She's got her exercise, and because she's not doing exercise, she's super stressed and she's not eating the proper foods. So that's going to make that scale go up, right? She wants to lose 30 pounds. And so her question is, how does she make quick, healthy food? How many times a week should she do what type of exercise? So how to make quick, healthy food, we've got lots of shortcuts out there. I'll tell you, one of the things that I do is prepare ahead of time, right? So right now in my fridge, I've got grilled chicken, I've got pulled Mexican chicken, I've got pre-cut lettuce, things I made last night. I made the boys and I a steak on the grill, and while I was at it, I threw four chicken sausages on as well. I had a small piece of steak. I had 1 chicken sausage, and the other 3 chicken sausages are in there for me for whether I want that for lunch or for dinner tonight. But it's all made. It's already made, right? Because I got to go pick up 2 kids at soccer practice at school and then bring 1 kid to his second soccer practice. And so we need quick dinner. So we got to be ready. And so that preparation ahead of time is huge. Having easy meals that are ready, that are easy to reheat. Big thing I do now is I make my kids, and now they're both eating it. I literally made an entire loaf of bread into French toast last night. I like it because it's getting them the protein from the egg, I use almond milk, so that doesn't have a ton of protein, but it's getting them the eggs too in their French toast. So I make literally like a whole loaf of French toast. I freeze it, and then and it's in a plastic bag for them, and so they can just take it out and toast it really quickly. So that's made our breakfast so much easier. They'll both grab fruit. My son this morning, one of them grabbed blueberries, the other one grabbed little clementines, and they both threw a couple pieces of French toast in the toaster oven. So that makes it easy, right? Crock-pot meals are easy. There's so many quick meals that you can make in bulk. Some of the big things that I love to do, I make my quiche once a week. So that is in a glass pie pan. It's cut into 6 slices. So every day I make my recovery shake. Usually on our way to school, I drink that. When I get back, I just cut out a piece of quiche and I eat it cold. I love making like a ground turkey meat sauce, or just putting 3 pounds of ground turkey, pre-cooking that and having it ready for whatever we want to make with it. Another one, we do egg roll in a bowl. That's another ground turkey one, where you just take like cabbage and carrots, the shredded coleslaw mix, throw that in a pan, throw the ground turkey in, just throw a bunch of things in, Asian sauces, and boom, you've got this huge pot of a pre-done meal that you can literally just dig into throughout the week. So even like I'll make a pot of brown rice or a pot of quinoa at the beginning of the week. Have stuff ready to go, because then you're more likely to grab healthier stuff if it's ready and easy to grab. How many times a week should I do what type of exercise? I generally prescribe for my clients 5 days of lifting, and then however many walks they can get in. Fresh air is good. Vitamin D is good. Stress relief in walking. Right now we do every Wednesday, we actually check in to our community on our walks. So I'll be taking the doggies out right after this. Gonna take a picture of what we see on our walk, and also take a quick note of what the temperature is, because we've got clients all over the country. And this morning, I know Lisa, it was 44 degrees on her walk. It's probably 80 something out there for my walk. And so that's fun, right? So walk as much as you can, at least once a day, getting at least 7,000 to 9,000 steps. That's fine. 10,000's bonus. And then doing your strength training. When it comes to cardio, that's going to depend on the phase of your training that you're in. So, and it changes depending on what you want your focus to be. If we're constantly trying to do cardio, that would generally mean that you're in like a fat loss mode. Like I said before, we can't always be in fat loss. We can't always be looking for weight loss, like heavy weight loss mode, because sometimes we want to be in strength gaining and muscle building mode. And like I said earlier, you can't build muscle if you're in a large calorie deficit. Nothing is going to fuel the building of the muscle. And so that's why we're going to phase our cardio, if we do it at all. I don't do a ton of cardio. I do want to get back to my weighted vest walks, though. Those were really fun. And I was running with that thing too. Okay, 5 days a week strength training. That would be my recommendation. I'm doing 6 days a week of strength training right now. Really trying to take my fitness to the next level. And so it also might be different if you're starting out, if you are doing maybe 30 minutes a day. If you're where I am right now, looking to really push my body to the next level, my workouts are taking closer to an hour, sometimes even an hour and a half, as I'm doing somebody else's program. And I think this is probably going to be the last time I'm doing like hour and a half long workouts, because it's very long. It doesn't leave much time for much else. Okay, so hopefully that answered that question. Okay, the next one. I can't lose weight and it discourages me. She wants to lose weight, gain energy, not feel so tired, sleep better. How do I speed up my metabolism? All right, so let's just go with how do I speed up my metabolism? You add more muscle to your body. So somebody like me, I weigh around 160 pounds. I've got a lot of muscle on my body. My body likes food. It likes calories. It likes to take those calories and create more energy so that I have energy to do all the things that I love. My body knows that I'm taking lots of walks with the dogs. I'm always out there playing golf. I'm always doing my workouts, heavy workouts every day. And so my body knows that it needs to build energy. So it's always the muscle looks for fuel, right? I'm like a hungry beast. My body looks for fuel, and it wants to generate energy from that fuel. And so the way to speed up your metabolism is going to eat more, build more muscle, and get your recovery in. Sleep well, and also reduce your stress. That's how you're going to speed up your metabolism. That's going to take time, right? You're going to need to do this consistently for a long period of time. I've been doing this very consistently for 10 years now, 10 and a half years now. And it doesn't happen overnight, but I will share another amazing win. Carissa, this morning, and I posted this on my stories this morning, messaged me saying, I think my metabolism just turned on. She goes, what is that? And I said, it's the consistency. It's the lifting. It's the building muscle. She said, well, yeah, it's happening, and she's been working with me for months and months, probably about 6 months now, I think. And so that's what happens, or maybe it's 3 months. We have to be consistent. We have to give it the time, and we have to know that if we're building the right body that's going to then do the work for us, it's not going to always be about weight loss, because I think it took Chris a little bit of time over time to realize that building strength and building this body was going to serve her better than constantly trying to be in this constant staring at the scale and measuring her success by that scale constantly going down. And she had a big shift in mindset, and that has served her so well. And I know she's going to watch this. So proud of you. Love that. All right, Renee. Motivation and her diet are holding her back. She wants to get down to 125 pounds. She asks, how do I stop cravings and boost energy? You eat more. You eat more yummy food. You eat all the delicious things, the carbs, the protein, the fat. You eat all the different things. You eat what makes you happy. You eat mostly healthy. You eat things that, you just want. Sometimes I go in and I grab, my son loves candy. Sometimes I go in and I grab a handful of his Sour Patch Kids. It makes me super happy. And then I'm not searching all over for other foods, right? That's not going to derail me. If you want something, have it, but make sure for the most part, you're being healthy, you're making good choices in line with the goals you're trying to achieve. So if you are low energy, it could be because you're just under eating, right? Fuel that body. It's kind of like if you're building a fire and you don't give it wood, it's not going to make the fire bigger, right? So give your food the fuel it needs to give you energy and to not be craving so much. It's super simple, right? So that's another reason why if we're constantly trying to live in a low calorie place, we can only hold on to that for so long, okay? Let's see, we got time for a couple more. I think I have, two left on my spreadsheet here. So let's see, Janelle says she's struggling with hormonal issues. She says, how to get everything lined up, nutrition, fitness, and hormones. I have tools for that. You get in touch with your coach, Jill, and I will start you with a 5-day program. It is relaunching this week. If you want it, just drop the word makeover below. Otherwise, keep an eye out because I will be launching my campaign for my new 5-day menopause makeover, where you are going to get 5 workouts. You are going to get 5 lessons on fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress, and supplementation/hormones. And it's going to help you identify which pillars are out of alignment so that we can get everything lined up. And then you start to see these amazing changes. Not only are you going to see the weight loss you want, the energy increase. You're going to see belly bloat go down. You're going to see better sleep. You're just going to feel amazing. So that's what I would say is we need to get you started there. It's going to be this little 5-day foundation. And then we need the long-term plan, right? We talked about the different nutrition frameworks. We talked about having 5 days a week of strength training. These are all things that we need to get in place then with the background knowledge building, right? Which you kind of learn a little bit over time. Maybe some FaceTime with me to pump you up, to get you excited, to get you some wins. And then we need consistency for a long enough time so that kind of like Carissa, at some point you're like, holy cow, all this work is starting to pay off. Same thing happened with my client, Lisa, right? We were working and it wasn't going super fast. Of course, at the beginning, you see this drop in weight, but then things kind of like level out a bit when your body's like, whoa, why are we losing so much weight so fast? And then it levels out, and then you just stay consistent with the work. And then all of a sudden it's like a snowball and you're like, oh my gosh, things are happening. This is cool. And it's exciting. So that's what we need to do, is get that first little plan and then make the second plan and then see it through for a really long time, like probably the rest of your life, to be honest. I'm here 10 years later, still doing it, still knowing it's going to be a lifetime journey. And I'm just going to keep finding new, exciting things to be building on. I'll tell you, my latest inspiration came to me just, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I saw this picture on Facebook. So a lot of you know, and some of you may not yet. I'm a golfer. I love to golf. And I saw this amazing picture on Facebook of this woman who was swinging her drive. She was literally like all muscle. And I sent this picture to my friend Julie, who's also a fitness coach. And I just sent her the picture and I was like, I wrote like goals, right? And she and I had a little face-to-face meeting yesterday on Zoom. And Julie was like, oh my God, I thought that was you when I first saw it. And then I saw what you wrote next, afterwards. And I was like, no, not me. But can you imagine how amazing that would be if somebody like was watching me, if all these people watch me golf, they saw, because I have a lot of people ask me what I do when we get paired up randomly. They're like, what do you do for work? And when I say I'm a personal trainer, they're like, that makes sense because you're like full of muscle. I was like, but what if I was like super duper ripped? And for a few minutes before I went to bed last night, I literally was just thinking to myself, maybe I need to get a little bit more honed in on my nutrition, because that would be really cool to be that lady on that tee box. And I'll maybe drop that picture for those of you in my Facebook group. I'll drop that picture in the comments here. It was just so exciting to me to see that and to feel something new as a driver for my journey, right? Really cool. Okay. It's good to be aligned and, and around people who inspire you. Last one is Natasha. I know she just joined today, I think, joined our group. So hi, Natasha, welcome. She said time and planning are holding her back. So yep, we're all busy. We're all crazy busy. And the planning still has to happen. And I've had meetings with clients and this week who have said, my planning just wasn't there this week. I didn't take the time for it. I know that's the reason why I wasn't as successful this week. I have to decide the time for my planning and not let anything else get in my way, right? Because we all make excuses and we all let other things come up. Sometimes we choose to do things that are more fun, but then we know that having that solid plan, and we just go week by week, having that solid plan is huge, and it'll actually save you time in the week. Natasha's question is, what is the fastest way to see results? Okay, Natasha, I know you're new here, so I'm going to actually drop a link for you. My 5-day Kickstart Cleanse is my fastest weight loss tool. So it is going to help you lose 5+ pounds generally. So on average, it's somewhere between 5 to 7 pounds in 5 days. Certainly I've had people who've lost a pound or 3 pounds. I've had people who've lost 10 to 12 pounds in the 5 days. It is a 5-day meal plan. All right, I just tossed it in the comments. It is whole foods. There's no dairy, no meat products, no alcohol, no to very little caffeine. Again, that's a personal choice, but it's a 5-day set meal plan. I give you the shopping list, super simple, actually cheaper than your normal shopping. I give you the recipes, super easy. They're all like one-liners, two-liners. And then I give you the meal plan, which I like to print out, and I'll like tape it to the back of my stove so I can see it every day, or I'll leave it on the counter all week. And it's simple, it's easy to prep for, it's easy to execute, it's super delicious. You'll be full, it's tons of food, and you'll see that amazing quick weight loss, bloat loss, better sleep, better mood, just better feeling, energy all around. That is going to help you get that first win. Some of us just need to see that scale go down. We need to be just, reassured that our bodies are not broken. Once we get that going, then we want to have our next steps plan laid out and in place. And then what you'll find is you can go back and use these 5-day Kickstart cleanses. I have 4 menus. You can use them at different times during your journey. And they're a really great safety net tool. So if you kind of go off track, or if you go on a vacation, or if you had an emotional time, if something's happened and you just know you've been kind of doing the wrong things, then this will quickly get you right back to where you were. And then you can be incentivized to move forward, because you always see how great it feels when you're on track. So it's an amazing tool. Everybody should give it a go. And and so that's the quickest way to lose weight. You do not want fast weight loss or tools like this, or tools that are restrictive diets, fad diets, like intermittent fasting, low carb cycling, keto, any of these things, and all kinds of other things. They're short-term tools to achieve a goal fast, but they are not going to help you with the long term. They're not going to be a lifestyle plan. And in fact, if you stay on a lot of these things for too long, it's going to hinder your weight loss. It's going to hinder your metabolism, and the tools stop working. So if I just said, okay, this 5-day Kickstart worked so great, I'm just going to use this as my lifetime nutrition plan, then eventually that is going to kick you in the butt. It's going to be too low calorie. You're going to end up just wrecking your metabolism. It works short term. It's not going to work forever. So keep that in mind, that when there's things that work too fast, that they're probably a tool, probably not a lifetime thing, and probably going to be really hard to maintain. And they might do other damage, right? So when we think about it, same thing with the weight loss drugs out there. When you go on them, you're going to start losing weight really fast, and not even everybody is guaranteed to lose weight fast. You may lose weight really fast, and then there's going to be issues with that, because you're going to lose muscle mass. Your bone quality is going to get worse. Your skin is going to not retract at the same pace as your fat loss. And so that's when you might start to see your skin hanging down, or other issues. And so those are the things that you have to keep in mind when you're constantly going for quick tools. And so that's why I encourage something that's more sustainable, enjoyable, and a long-term tool or a long-term lifestyle that will help you build the body that will do the work for you, right? So that if I want to have a piece of pizza, I know I'm not gaining 5 pounds. My body likes calories, and it wants to use those calories now and be efficient with them. And so doing things that are a little more off track are not going to affect me the way they did before, 10 years ago, before I started doing all this consistent strength training and eating mostly the right things most of the time. All right, so I appreciate you hanging in here with me and listening to me blab on. Hopefully you got some really great answers to some questions. Let me know you watched this, and I will see you on Monday for our motivation chat, back here next Wednesday. Set up your game plan call with me so that I can get to know you personally, and that we can start making your plan for some amazing results that snowball into just amazingness in general. All right. Bye, everybody.